Chef Benjamin Meyer of Iridescence, and welcome back. And today we went off-site, and it's to talk about the article, our two-part series on steak. And what we talked about is it's all about the source. And I mentioned in the past, it's all about your vendors and the relationships. And so this is my friend Marty Wilk from Fairway Meatpacking, and I talk to him on a regular basis, and he really takes care of my needs. But he's taking me to his home, where we're going to meet the Fairway family. So Gene, it's a pleasure to be here, and we thank you for inviting us, and we really look forward to Emmett walking us through.
Hi, I'm Emmett Barata, Fairway Packing Company. I'm a third-generation meat purveyor right here in the Eastern Market. Chef Benjamin today brought you into my facility so I could show you the importance of top-quality beef and what it takes to hand select one of Michigan's greatest steaks. At Fairway Packing, not only do we specialize in dry-aged beef, but we also take care of our chefs' needs when it comes to any of the proteins on their menu. Where we're standing at right now is my favorite room in the entire plant, my favorite room anywhere. This is my dry aging facility. In this dry aging room, there's a constant flow of air. With the Himalayan salt wall behind us, with over 500 blocks of salt that are salt purifying this room. So this beef is rested in a completely pure room, absorbing the salt air, intensifying the flavor of this beef. We're then taking this beef, we're hand selecting it for Michigan's top chefs. We're taking it out to our custom cut house where we're hand cutting each and every piece to our chef's specifications. So today, Chef Benjamin has called on us to cut 45 pieces of the finest cowboy steaks in Michigan. I'm going to show you exactly how that's done and how we get to that point. So these particular 107 ribs have been wet aged for 28 days, then have been placed on this rack and have been dry aging for another 28 days. We're looking for a nice eye on the steak. We want to make sure that that's got a nice black cover, that's got a hard shell. As you're sticking your finger in there, you can hardly make an indentation on it. And this tells me that this piece of beef has been aged to perfection. When picking out a fine steak, there's three grades to look for. There's USDA Prime, there's USDA Choice, and then there's Select. We don't cut anything less than Choice. We're going to pull this off the rack, and we're going to cut this exactly to Chef Benjamin's specification. One of the most important things when you're cutting a badass steak and you pull a piece of meat like this is you want to have the right team and the right cutters in place. Right now, Bobby's pulling off the top cap, removing all the age. He's peeling the decal off of the 107 rib. What we're going to do with this, after it's peeled, we'll trim it off. And there's all good quality beef that's underneath here that's coming all off of a dry-aged Wagyu rib that's going to go right into our grinder to make some badass burger. Our chefs tell us how they want it cut and what they want cut, and we carry it out to a T. Precision cutting. So after the top cap is peeled off, we're going to saw a little off at the end, and then we're going to take another look at this piece of meat. Here's where you want to probably get a closer shot. All right, so after we saw off a little bit of age, Bob and I take a look at it, and we check to make sure that the color inside is just right, and more importantly, there's enough intramuscular fat, otherwise known as marbling. Again, where I say, embrace the fat. The more fat, the more flavor. That's a good steak. What Bob's doing right now is known as Frenching the rib. We French the ribs of the bone so that we can have a bone exposure after cutting the cowboy steak. Chef Benjamin likes approximately 2.5 to 3 inches of bone exposure when cutting his cowboy steaks. So the piece of meat is prepped, double checked for proper marbling. We've got the right bone length. Now it's time to hand cut some steaks. Each steak is trimmed down to its proper size so we can nail the exact spec for that chef. We brought in a piece of commodity choice out of the export rib, which is the same area that we just cut Chef Benjamin steaks out of. I'd like to point out a couple differences so you guys at home can see what we're talking about when we tell you there is a difference when it comes to quality of the steak and cut of the steak. Each steak has been cut the same way, by hand. But if you could see, the commodity choice compared to a piece of Fairway Packing Prime dry aged beef, you can see the differences. The coloring inside is a little bit more of a lighter red with less marbling and less fat content going through the steak. We see our process from farm to plate, which enables us to control the amount of marble and the amount of steaks that come through our warehouse and the quality of steaks that come through the warehouse. When we take an animal and we want to beef up that animal's eating all fine cracked corn, grain, soybean, grass. It's all eating all proper components to fatten that animal up to bring the flavor to it.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Chef Benjamin Meyer of Iridescence.